Namaste. Welcome to this session on crosstab. Now, crosstab is extremely useful when you want to compare two or more categorical variables against each other. Now, we'll see how crosstab works. Now, first we will import this Pokemon dataset from this Kaggle source. Okay, so you can find this dataset here. Now, this is basically a Pokédex, that is, it tells us about all the features of particular Pokemon. There are about 50 columns in this data set. So these are the columns. Now we won't be using all of these because some of these are German names, Japanese names, etc. So we'll drop those columns and we will work with this shortened data frame, which is only 37 columns now. So I'll see. So now this is the data set at a hand. Now how this crosstab function works is, I'll call pd.crosstab, and now I have to pass in two values at least. One is the index, that which column do I want to group by in the rows column. Okay, so for example, if I say I want the status to be in my index, I'll say df.status, and in my columns, for example, if I want to group by the generation, okay, so I'll say df.generation. Now this is telling us that there are four types of Pokemons, basically legendary, mythical, normal and sub-legendary, and there are 8 generations of Pokemons in this dataset. Now this is giving us a frequency cross tabulation, which means that it is telling us how many times, for example, for generation 1 there were 185 normal Pokemons, and for example there were no mythical Pokemons in generation 8. Okay, so this is giving us a simple cross tabulation, but we can do much more than this. Now we'll see what all this can do. So now I'll just copy it again. Now I'll pass in a margins parameter, and it will be margins is equal to, I'll pass in true, the default is false. So when I say margins equal to true, what happens is it is giving me on the columns as well on the row side an extra field which is telling me the total number of legendary Pokemons, for example 39, sub-legendary 45, and in the column level it is telling me for generation 1 there were 192 Pokemons, and for generation 6 there were 85 Pokemons, etc. Okay, the next parameter that we'll be looking at is the margins name. Now as you would have seen here, this is called all, this column and this row is called all, but we can change this name to whatever we want. I can say total here, and this will be renamed to total and total here. Okay, so next parameter which we will see is, I'll just get rid of all these two. Now the next parameter that we'll see is normalize. Now when I set normalize is equal to true, you will see what happens. It is now normalizing. For example, there were 1028 values total. This is basically, when I set it to true, this all of these values in this set, they will be divided by 1028. Okay, so basically if I check for generation number 4 and sub legendary, there were 6 Pokemons. So when I do 6 divided by 1028, I'll get 0.005. So when I see generation 4 and sub legendary, I'll get 0.005837. Okay, so this is basically what normalize is doing. It is dividing the each value in this data frame by the total number of the values in this data frame. Now I can also set this normalize parameter to index. It will calculate the sum of all the values in each row. For example, in the legendary row, if we see here, there were 39 Pokemons, mythical there were 29. So for legendary, it will see the each value in each intersection point and divide it by 39. Okay, so for example, for legendary there were 3 Pokemons and the total was 39 in that row. So if I do 3 divided by 39, I'll get 0.0769, which is exactly the value here. So that means now how I can interpret this result is, for each legend, for the entire legendary row, we see that 7% of the values were from generation 1. For example, for 20% of these values were from generation 7. So it gives us a much better picture, because we cannot see here properly that what is the proper distribution of each generation for the legendary status, right? So but here when we convert it to percentages, we can clearly see that 20% of the values were from generation 7, and for example we can see that 37.7% of the sub legendary Pokemons were in generation 7. Okay, so this is how we can interpret the normalize is equal to index. Now we can also do normalize is equal to columns. Okay, and so now what we have done is divided each value in each row by the total in that row, right? But now in the columns what we'll do is we'll divide each value in each column by the total of that column. So if I press Ctrl Enter, now you see uh, now there were 192 Pokemons here, okay, and normal were 185. So if I divide 185 divided by 192, I'll get 0.9635, and which is exactly what I have here, 0.9635 in generation 1 and normal. Now the next parameter that we'll look at is values parameter. Now I'll pass in a values parameter. Now until now what we had done is we had only used the generation and the status columns to form a cross tabulation, right? We only had a frequency mapping of 101 Pokemons from normal and second generation. But now I can also say, for example, for the values I need df dot speed, okay, and it will be much clear what I'm doing in just a second. I'll say aggregation function is equal to, for example, mean. So now what I have is, for example, so speed, this was the speed of each Pokemon, okay, so this was also a column in the original data frame. Now what I have now is the mean speed of each intersection point. For example, for the legendary Pokemons in the generation 1, the mean speed of each Pokemon was 133, okay. Similarly for in generation 8 it was 135. If I say weight in kg, now what I have is the mean weight in kilograms of each Pokemon from each status and each generation. So I see such heavy were the Pokemons, the legendary Pokemons from generation 3, they were 555 kilograms, and the lightest Pokemons were in, I can see this 4 value here. So in mythical in generation 1, the mean weight of Pokemons were 4 kilograms. So maybe there was only one Pokemon here, so that is why it is such a small number. But this is how you can analyze using this values and agfunc parameter. Okay, now I can also pass in here median if I want, so this will give me the median numbers. I can also pass in the max value, this will give me the maximum values in each intersection point. Now the next parameter that we'll be looking at is the row names and the column names. Okay, so this was the original data frame. Now I can change this status and the generation, these two names, to whatever I want using this row names parameter. I'll say row names is equal to, this is my row, right? So for status I'll say which kind. Okay, so this is my row names, and for call names I can say, if I just shorten this generation to gen, so now I have these, so now these two names have been renamed to gen and which kind. Now I'll do another cross tabulation for my values argument. I'll see, for example, there's another column called percentage male. It tells us what percentage of that Pokemon is a male character, okay. And for my aggregation function I'll pass in, for example, mean again. So now you see I have only two statuses now, normal and sub legendary. I do not have legendary or mythical. So can you guess why? That is because the documentation says that pandas will automatically drop those columns which do not have any values, right? So it says that do not include columns whose all entries are nan. So what it means that this percentage male column for legendary and mythical Pokemons were blank. So if I want the original data frame structure, I can say drop na is equal to false. I can bring it down. So now you see I have both of those columns back, legendary and mythical, and both of those columns are fully nan, but I have preserved the original structure of the data frame. So now also instead of viewing these as nans, I can say dot fill na, and I can fill these missing values with 0, for example, so it looks much cleaner now. I can also fill it with dashes, so it looks little better. but I can also do it with this, so it looks even better now. Okay, now until now what I have done is I have only one column as my index and one column for my columns. Now I can also do multiple columns at a time, so I can call pd.crosstab, and for my index, for example, I can pass in two values, df.generation, and for example df.status I'll pass in here itself. And for my columns, I can pass in the species column, so I can say species. So now you can see that I have a multi-index in my index here. So what it is basically telling me is that in generation 1 there were these 4 types of Pokemons: legendary, mythical, normal and sub-legendary, and for each of those values how many Pokemons were found for each of those species. Like for example, here we see that there was one worm Pokemon, and the intersection point is generation 1 and a normal kind of Pokemon. So you see there are quite a few zero values here, because not all types of Pokemons are present in all the statuses. So now this is how we can use multiple columns in our index and the columns. Now just to spice things up a bit, I can also pass in a values parameter. I can say give me the total. Okay, so there is a total column which tells us the total number of points of that particular Pokemon. So I can say df dot total points, and for my aggregation function I can say median, for example, here. And just to make it a little bit better looking, I'll do fill in a 0. So now this is giving us the median number of points for each intersection point. So this was all about crosstab. Now your task is very simple. You just have to take this data frame or any data frame of your choice and try to use different values for the index and the columns parameter, right? And calculate different metrics, like there are a few columns here which tell us uh, how each particular Pokemon can defend against all of these attacks. Okay, so you can use these numerical columns as the values parameter, and you can see the mean, median. You can see which type of Pokemons are the best, which type of Pokemons basically dominate the other type of Pokemons. So I think the stage is all yours now. So you can either go to this link for this data set, or you can go to my GitHub page where I'll be uploading this Jupyter notebook and also the data set. And if you like my content, please do not forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. So that will give me basically a lot more confidence of making more such videos. And if you do not like anything, or if you find any of my content to be wrong or incorrect, so see you soon.